Welcome to session 5 and our next skill, incarnational listening. As I mentioned briefly in session 1, Jerry and I hit a wall in the 7th or 8th year of our marriage, and it was not a wall we could get through by ourselves. We reached out to get some help from some very wise counselors, and we learned an abbreviated form of the skill we're teaching today, incarnational listening. This was a skill that got Jerry and me launched on this journey of emotionally healthy discipleship. The only kind of listening I knew was for the purpose of defending myself or giving an opinion or advising. Up to this point, we used a type of machine gun rapid-fire communication. Jerry and I finished each other's sentences. Actually, I finished everybody's sentences. We interrupted each other. Incarnational listening was such a revolutionary experience that it changed not just our marriage, it changed our relationships with our children, our family, our friends, our neighbors, the leadership of our church, and of course, the entire church. Everything.
Everything.
The reason this happened is because this type of listening transformed our ability to love. David Augsburger, a theologian, said it best. Being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are almost indistinguishable. As you can see in your workbook under incarnational listening, the goal of this skill is to listen at a heart level with empathy like Jesus, attuning to the words and nonverbal cues of another person. But since this skill involves speaking as well as listening, we need to talk briefly about how we speak to each other in the new family of Jesus as well.
Absolutely. Speaking is critical. So let me ask you, how did the family you grew up in speak to one another? This is important because we tend to speak to others the way we were spoken to. For example, my family used sarcasm, and we had certain facial expressions and tone of voice that were often disrespectful. Since most communication comes through nonverbals, it's easy to understand that no matter what your words say, your heart comes through your tone, facial expressions, and body language. People will respond to those things more than words. In the new family of Jesus, we speak differently, and it's marked by 4 characteristics. We speak respectfully, honestly, clearly, and in a timely fashion. Let's take one of those at a time. First, we speak respectfully. To do that, you have to give thought to your words and not just blurt them out. Again, contrast that with the way your family spoke to one another. By respectful, that means we take the other person's feelings into consideration. Did you know that Ephesians 4 says that we are to speak in a way that makes it easy for the listener to hear our words? For example, instead of saying, "That's your idea? That's ridiculous," you can say respectfully, "That's your idea? That's interesting. Help me understand it." Secondly, we speak honestly, and that is a lot harder than it sounds. But the truth is, you have a right to your feelings and thoughts and to speak them. Instead of speaking dishonestly and saying, "I don't mind if you're late tonight," you say, "Yes, I would mind if you're late, and I would really appreciate you home for dinner by 6 p.m. Thirdly, we speak clearly. No hinting, beating around the bush, or being too vague. For example, instead of vaguely saying, "You never cook," you can say, "I would really like you to cook 2 nights a week." Or rather than hinting with, "Are you busy Friday?" you can clearly ask, "Would you be willing to take me to the doctor's on Friday?" And finally, we speak timely. We are aware of when we or the other person are tired, irritated, or short on time. And if necessary, we wait for a better time. We like to summarize it this way. In the new family of Jesus, we do healthy speaking. We speak respectfully, honestly, clearly, and in a timely fashion. So think with me for a moment. In the last few days, when has your speech not been respectful? Maybe you blurted something out. Or maybe you didn't take the feelings of the listener into consideration. Or when wasn't it honest and clear? That is, you didn't truly say what you thought or felt, or you were beating around the bush. Or you didn't do it in a timely manner. You were impulsive rather than waiting for a good time. Imagine how you could have done it differently. Now let's think about listening together. As you can see on your screen, there's a picture of unhealthy togetherness. It's where we don't respect our differences, and it's hard to see where one person ends and another begins. In unhealthy togetherness, we want or expect a person to think and feel the way we do about things. When they don't, we may feel threatened. No two human beings are alike. We all have different feelings, thoughts, fears, and values. In this picture of healthy togetherness, the individuals understand and respect each other's separateness. They allow one another to have their own thoughts, feelings, fears, and values. This is a critical foundation for being able to listen incarnationally.
A key word to grasp incarnational listening is the word attunement. Attunement means not just listening to someone's words, but their nonverbals. Things like their eyes, facial expression, their tone of voice, their tears, their body posture, and the intensity of their words. When we're attuned to a person's words and body language, they feel felt by us. That's the key phrase, they feel felt. Attunement helps us sift through the facts to get to the feelings. Most of us have been trained to listen simply for information or facts. This kind of listening is different. The prize is emotional connection, not information. We're making an internal shift to give our full attention and time to someone. And this is truly the most basic form of love. The incarnation of Jesus serves as a beautiful model for us of this kind of listening. First, Jesus entered our world. Secondly, then Jesus held on to himself, remaining fully God as he became fully human. And then finally, Jesus hung between those two worlds. In this way, listening incarnational means we follow Jesus in this. As we listen, we leave our world, and then we enter another person's world. We hold on to ourselves, and then we hang between their world and our world. Now we want to show you a wrong model and then a right model of incarnational listening.
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Carrie.
Thanks for being willing to meet with me at lunch.
Of course.
So, I got the email about the new project we've been put on together.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of amazing we've been doing projects together for 3 years.
3 years. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot going on in my life right now, and I am aware this project is a really big deal. So I just wanted to share with you some of that stuff that's going on because it's really affecting me.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm having some real difficult times with my son right now. Last week, he got pulled over by the police for driving under the influence. It's just really got me shaken, you know? I mean, he's been a little depressed and withdrawn lately, but I just can't believe that he would have this kind of risky behavior. It really worries me, you know? I'm just so angry that he would risk his safety and other people's safety like this.
Carrie, you know, honestly, when I was a kid, I would make mistakes all the time. One time I got arrested for shoplifting. You know, he's just a kid now. He'll be fine. Believe me, just trust me. I think he'll be fine.
Okay, well, I just want you to know that I do really care a lot about this project, but it's really large, and with everything going on in my life, it's a little overwhelming to me right now. I feel like I'm really gonna maybe need to take some space and time.
Carrie, let me just stop you. You know, I think I gotta go now. Let's talk about the project next week, okay? I think that would be best, probably. Okay?
Hey, Drew.
Hey, Gary.
Thanks for being willing to meet with me over lunch.
Of course.
So, I got that email about the new project that we're on together. Can you believe it's been 3 years that we've been doing projects together?
Wow, 3 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So anyway, there's a lot going on in my life right now that's affecting me, and I just was hoping to share some of that with you. So would you be willing to do some incarnational listening with me?
Yeah, I would. Let me get settled real
Great.
quick.
Okay. So the biggest thing impacting me right now is there's some really difficult stuff going on with my son.
So the biggest thing impacting you right now are some really difficult things happening with your son.
Yeah. Last week, he got pulled over by the police for driving under the influence. It just really has me shaken.
So last week, he got pulled over driving under the influence, and it really has you shaken.
It does. I mean, he seemed a little depressed and withdrawn lately, but this has me really worried because it's just such dangerous behavior, you know?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I mean, lately he seemed kind of depressed and a little withdrawn. You know, I wasn't too worried about it, but now I don't even know what to think because he's just, this is so dangerous.
Yeah, so lately he's been depressed and withdrawn, and you didn't really think much of it, but now it has you really concerned after what's happened.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, I'm also just so angry that he would risk his safety like that and other people.
Yes. Yeah, you're so angry because he would not only risk his own safety, but the safety of others.
Yeah, I'm so relieved that nobody got hurt. So that's good,
Wow.
you know?
Yeah, you're relieved that no one got hurt, which is really good.
Yeah, but I just feel so guilty, Drew, because I've been so focused on work, and I'm wondering if I've missed signs, you know, warning signals of his mental health.
Yeah, so you're feeling really guilty because you've been so preoccupied and busy at work, and you're wondering if you've missed warning signs while you've been busy at work.
Yeah. And I just feel like I'm gonna need to take some time to figure out how to get him the help that he needs.
Yep. And you think that you need to take some time just to figure out whether or how you can get him the help that he needs right now.
Yeah.
Is there more that you'd like to share?
Yeah, actually. This is taking up a lot of my mental and emotional space. You know, I just really wanted you to be aware of it.
Yeah, so you want me to know that this is taking up a lot of emotional and mental space for you. You care about the project, but it's just a lot with everything going on.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm really excited about this project. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. So you're really excited about the project that we were going to talk about, but yeah, you're really excited.
I am, but also I'm just looking at the size of it. I'm feeling overwhelmed, you know, in light of everything else that's going on in my life right now.
Yeah, but in light of everything else happening in your life, you're feeling really overwhelmed.
I am. Yeah.
Of everything that you've shared with me today, what's the most important thing that you'd like for me to remember?
I really want you to know that this project matters to me a lot, and I really enjoy working with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So you really care about this project, and you really enjoy working with me.
I do. Yeah. But also, there's a lot of things that are going on inside right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, there's a lot of things going on inside right now.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, Drew. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for sharing.
Now that you've seen a model of incarnational listening, let me just mention a couple of things. We know it looks stiff. People note this often when they see it for the first time. But trust me, it is a very different experience when you do it yourself. The structure is meant to provide guardrails to help you listen to the feelings and not just the words. For example, when Pete and I were beginners at this skill, I said to him, "I felt like you murdered me with your words." And he responded, "So you were a little angry with what I said." Now, as you can see, he departed from the structure by changing my words, and he didn't feel the hurt behind them. Following the structure keeps us honest and accurate. We need the guardrails because we are poor listeners. Note, listening didn't mean agreement. They weren't trying to solve a problem, but are only listening to empathize and for understanding. Problem solving is another skill. And by the way, research has shown that 70% of problems can be solved through listening. That's really significant. So you want to learn this skill. So here's what we would like you to do. In groups of 2, one of you will be the speaker and the other will be the listener. Then you're going to switch. Here are the guidelines, and you'll also find them in your workbook. As the listener, give the speaker your full attention. Don't be thinking about your rebuttal. Step into the speaker's shoes and feel what they are feeling. Avoid judging or interpreting. Reflect back as accurately as you can what you heard them say. When you think they are done, ask, is there more? Believe me, many times there is more. When they are done, ask them, of everything you have shared, what is the most important thing you want me to remember? As the speaker, speak in the I, keep statements brief. And if you are saying too much, the listener can tap you on the knee or hand to pause you. Stop to let the other person paraphrase. If they didn't hear you correctly, you let them know. Include feelings. It's critical in this skill to be able to distinguish between thoughts and feelings. Many of us say things like, I feel like going to the movies, or I feel that children should go to school 12 months a year. If you use the words like or that after a feeling, know that you are not sharing a feeling, but a thought. The only word that ought to come after I feel is a feeling. I feel sad. I feel anxious. I feel excited. There is a sheet with feeling words in the appendix. Please, please use that and have it in front of you when you do this exercise. Remember, be honest, clear, and respectful. Now turn in your workbooks to the partner activity for this session and follow the instructions in your workbook. You will be sharing around this question. What is the biggest thing impacting you right now? And how are you feeling about it?
Let me share a few pointers as we close this session. First, the incarnational listening guidelines are meant to serve as guardrails for us, to keep us on track while learning this new skill. Yes, they may initially feel a bit like a straitjacket, but remember, we're seeking to change a way of speaking and listening that goes back 3 to 4 generations in most of our families. Doing it poorly is in our bones. So if this is awkward, be assured that you're learning something new and that it's a good thing. The guidelines are, as Jerry said earlier, like the training wheels of a bike. They're necessary when we begin learning to ride that bike. There will be a time when you will not need these guardrails. But for now, to break deeply embedded bad habits, we need them to get started. Secondly, this skill of incarnational listening is a powerful spiritual formation discipleship tool. It requires great character and maturity to listen to a person, especially when they're saying something we disagree with or something negative about us. So let me invite you to use this skill as a sharp tool in the hands of God to mature you, to help you drop your defenses, and to become more open and approachable. But again, this is not easy. And finally, incarnational listening can be a means to encounter God. Martin Buber, a Jewish theologian and writer in the 1900s, developed a powerful framework for understanding relationships. When we relate to a person, he said, as an object or as a means to an end, we're treating them as an it. But when we relate to a person as sacred or holy, attuning to them, we are treating them as a thou. And as Buber said, when two people through speaking and listening have an I-thou encounter, the space between them becomes holy or sacred space. God, who is love, comes and fills that space with his presence. And we've seen that over and over and over again. That's why Jerry and I, when we first learned this skill, we set aside time every week to practice incarnational listening around that simple question: what's the biggest thing impacting you right now, and how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I will never forget the first time I experienced the fruit of this skill and evidence of how God was changing us. Similar to what you did today, Pete and I, we sat and we practiced the skill on several occasions. And then one day I was at the kitchen sink and Pete walked in and asked me a question. He wanted my opinion about an issue he was struggling with related to work. In the past, he didn't really want my opinion. It was just his way of processing out loud. But on this day, he looked into my eyes and he was very present with me. He said, I really want to listen to you. Your thoughts and your feelings really matter to me. I almost fell on the floor. I was grasping that this wasn't just an exercise anymore, but something profound. Woo, here I go, was changing in him and in our relationship. It was a very holy moment.
Again, this is not a problem-solving skill. That's the skill of clean fighting, which we will learn later in the course. The greatest gift we can give the world is to love people in the name of Jesus. And make no mistake about it, that requires listening. Henry Nouwen said it this way: from experience, you know that those who care for you become present to you. When they listen to you. When they speak, you know they speak to you. Their presence is a healing presence because they accept you on your terms, and they encourage you to take your own life seriously. And friends, listening is one of the greatest ways we can do that. Sadly, we as the Church of Jesus Christ, we're not known for being great listeners. So for the next week, we ask that you practice incarnational listening at least one time with someone. Decide when and with whom you'll practice the skill in this upcoming week. And use the question, what's the biggest thing impacting you and how are you feeling about it? And continue prayerfully doing the devotionals from the Emotionally Healthy Relationships Day by Day devotional. Week 5 on incarnational listening complements beautifully what we've done in this session. And may you be present to the God who is present to you. May you listen to him who so faithfully listens to you. And as one theologian has said so well, may you behold the one who beholds you and smiles.